is this on the agenda?
Public Works Committee.
Public Works Committee.
So,
Would you like to
somebody
speak to it or
has
should I?
speak on it?
It just came out of our Public Works meeting. At the meeting, we discovered some information that HBL gave us that we did not have to do a long, lengthy study traffic study to lower the speed limit. So we decided, we've talked about this numerous times at City Council, so it's not any secret to anybody. The hazardous situation we have there, especially around the recycle center and everything. And our condition on West Valley Highway is getting worse, more unsafe, even continuing on down south. Algona lowered theirs to 25. We felt that 25 was too low, so the committee decided to bring forward 30, and the reason we brought it without workshop because it had been discussed many times in council prior to this. And HBL can give you the information as far as the study.
A couple things. The state legislature passed a law that allows any jurisdiction without a formal engineering study to reduce the posted speed of any of your roadways down, I believe it's no less than 20 miles an hour. So as Councilman Steiger indicated, we talked about 30 miles an hour at the Public Works Committee meeting. As you know, currently that piece of roadway is posted at 40 miles an hour, just to refresh your memories. So this would be a reduction down to 30, which would obviously increase the safety along that roadway. And question?
Looking at the current conditions on that road, do you think when the traffic survey were completed, do you think 30 would be a sufficient reduction, or do you think parts of it we would mark down to 25 given the current conditions?
And maybe to clarify what Councilman Putnam mentioned, we are now currently studying West Valley Highway, and as part of that work, Transpo is performing a transportation speed limit study. So we're looking at potential recommendations for speed limit as well as weight limit, perhaps on that roadway. That information, because of the timing of that project, should be available in the later part of the winter, probably the February time frame. So at that time, we would have a specific recommendation out of Transpo as to what that speed might be. It's likely it could be 25. I don't imagine it being any less than state statute, but it could be less than 30 miles an hour. We won't know until probably about middle late February.
So wouldn't it be prudent as council to wait until you have completed what you have done before we go through and set the ordinance for setting the speed limit?
I think at the committee, our concern was just being it is the winter, that it's dark early, and that the road is in bad shape, and as we continue the winter weather, we have the potential of the road being in worse shape. So I think that's where perhaps the urgency was to make the change prior to the end of the winter.
So, and we're basing it on what? We're saying 30 miles an hour versus 25 miles an hour based on what information? Is this what we feel like? I guess that's what I'm getting at.
Basically, that was, there was only 2 members at the meeting. That was our consideration, was 30. 40 is unsafe, and I believe that the committee believed that 25 was too much of a drastic change, so the suggestion was 30. So in answer to your question, I believe that's correct.
One of the concerns for not going all the way down to 25, absent a really strong engineering case for 25, is enforcement. If we have it set at 25 and we don't have adequate enforcement on that, when they turn off of that 25 onto, say, 3rd Avenue that's also 25, will they continue driving as fast on 3rd Avenue as they were on 25 mile an hour West Valley? which would probably remain in the 40-mile-an-hour range.
Councilmember Jones and
Just a question in relationship to what portions of West Valley Highway are we talking about, from where to where?
I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the committee recommended the entire stretch of West Valley Highway, which is within the city of Pacific.
That's what I wanted to find out.
Which, by the way, is a larger area of study than our study for West Valley. We're just going from County Line Road to First Avenue is what we are studying in West Valley. The piece south of that we are not studying because the grant didn't cover it.
Councilmember McMahon and then Councilmember Law.
So to Councilmember Putnam's point, I disagree with him, and I use his own reasons why. And I think especially because of what Algona has done, if we make a change, I think we should match Algona's 25 for that entire length. We all drove through there. It took me a few weeks to remember to slow to 25, and I think it's an easier progression to go 25 that whole length and keep them at that speed limit, particularly on our arterials, because at least thus far, Algona's done a good job before.
Yeah, that's chosen purposely.
Yeah. Hence the $70,000 adjustment there. So I'm a little surprised that we have this, and I don't think the traffic or winter caught anybody by surprise. But if we do change it, I'd like to see it go to 25 that whole lane to maintain consistency. If it's about safety, 25 consistency.
I agree with you. Algona's stretch of West Valley is in much better shape than ours. And even Auburn, further south than that, has started to change their speed limit. I don't think they went to 25, but they're at 30. They've also done that on A Street, so they've reduced their speed limits all over on perfectly fine roads to reduce wear and tear. I think we're past that point, but I agree 25 is probably the appropriate.
Councilmember Wilkie.
I move to amend the resolution to make that 25 miles an hour.
I didn't even think it had
We haven't
numbers.
even
Yeah, it was left blank for discussion precisely because there were only 2 members at the committee meeting, and we anticipated some discussion around it.
I also want to remind the council pretty quickly that the way that any change we've made in the field, there would be a notice posted which would, similar to what Algona's done, which would relate to whatever is passed by council. 2 red flags would be placed above that notice with the resulting new speed limit. So there would be very visible notice at each end of that stretch, as well as obviously new post speed limit signs. That would be the only expense, I guess, to the city in terms of making that happen.
Councilmember Putnam and then Councilmember.
On the subject of Auburn's lower speed limit, yes, where is dramatically higher for truck traffic when it's moving fast and when it's moving slow, especially when it's hitting the big existing walls in the pavement. And we anticipate sometime soon there'll be a significant increase, at least temporarily, in truck traffic on West Valley when projects are underway with the Hot Lane project on 167. It will create additional backup. So it does make sense to get this done before any of those backups divert more truck traffic onto the route.
Councilmember Steve.
It seems like we're dodging the real issue. The road itself is garbage. What are we thinking about doing to fix it?
So the city of Pacific has a grant in place to do the design of the stretch between County Line Road and First Avenue. Unfortunately, the grant application the city made for the remaining stretch to the south was not approved by PSRC. That can be reapplied for as funds are available. And then obviously there are no right-of-way or construction funds available for that as of now. Our strategy, as we work through the design for this stretch of road from County Line to First, is to work not only with Algona and King County, but the hope would be to expand that outreach to perhaps the legislature so we can look at the whole corridor, because looking at a piece of it is fine, but really you want to get the whole corridor, eventually, as you say, reconstructed.
Yeah, my concern is if they're gonna be doing, the state's gonna be doing work on 167 and increase traffic on West Valley Highway, I mean, is that justification for us to get what we, at least part of what we need to fix it?
Certainly doesn't hurt to have that in the discussion.
Ken?
One of our hopes with getting the design done is that when we go for money, if we have a shovel-ready design, that we'll be first in line for grant money.
And that design is due to be completed about mid-next year, but prior to that, in the April-May timeframe, we will be applying for additional grants as monies are available.
Councilmember Walker?
My question is more for John. Do we have staffing to support a reduction in the speed limit for the foreseeable future? Because I know Algona hit it pretty hard when their speed limit dropped, and I think that's why. And I'll say, when I drive that road, people are on my butt the whole time because they're still trying to do 40 miles an hour. So I want to make sure that we're controlling that.
We do the best we can do. I mean, we will make an effort.
Any other questions from council? Councilmember Steiger?
Well, I still believe that if frontage road is safe at 35, 30 is fast enough, is adequate for West Valley, not go all the way to 25. I think 25 is unreasonable.
Councilmember Steiger?
I support 30 miles an hour as well. Auburn's 30 miles an hour, Algona went down to 25, but I think if they're sandwiched by 30, they might even consider raising theirs now if they repair their stretch.
Councilmember Jones?
Traveling Algona at 25 and taking their alternate frontage road, I have found that it's just as fast to do the 25 instead of jumping over the 167 and hitting frontage. Matter of fact, I had a unique observation one evening doing that, and the person I was side by side with, when I hit the four-way stop in Algona, passed me going eastbound, and then when we hit Milwaukee and Ellington, he passed me going southbound. So I went to 35 mile an hour frontage road, and he went to 25, and we virtually got to the same location, same time. But he beat me just slightly, and we go at 25. So, and I do find that their road is much, much improved compared to the Pacific section of that West Valley Highway. And considering the fact that we have properties, the AmeriGas moving in, the recycling, and there are several other businesses down that way, regressing, egressing off that highway. I personally am fine with 25. I'll accept 30, but I'm fine with 25 too.
Yeah, the Valley Recycling is somebody who still takes my stuff every Saturday morning to Valley Recycling. When there's a line there, whether it's 30, that's a scary one to be. If you're worried about a car coming around that corner and pulling out too is a tough thing. So the condition of the road and that one corner there is a reason for I 25.
Councilmember Putnam?
One of the further safety considerations to mention, although it's rare, as part of the Hot Lane project, bicycles will no longer be allowed on 167. Many people probably didn't realize they were allowed on it now, but it's the only route south that doesn't flood, other than West Valley. We should also keep in mind that it has no shoulders, and we'll get a bit more bicycle traffic after the hot lanes go through. No, I don't need to use it that far south myself, but I do know people who ride it. And it's a scary place to ride a bicycle, but what are the alternatives? What are the other routes to protect until we get the trail finished?
Any other comments from council? Councilmember Steiger?
Well, it's kind of upsetting to me when I'm going along at 25 miles an hour and a bicycle passes me up.
I think, I know we discussed the 30 mile an hour, but the one thing with doing 25, especially with the work that's gonna be on 167, is it will cut down on through truck traffic.
Yeah.
Because most truckers are not gonna wanna cut down to 25 mile an hour, even if the traffic's moving slow on 167.
Any other comments from council?
And that'll help improve the road, or help retain the road condition.
Correct.
Slow the deterioration.
So is there a motion?
No, there hasn't.
No
No.
motion.
There's a motion for 25.
No.
No, there was discussion for 25, but it hasn't been moved either way yet.
There's a voice in my head.
According to Robert's rules, there's supposed to be a motion on the floor before we have to.
I know.
Yeah.
Your question.
Move to adopt ordinance 1854, setting a speed limit on West Valley Highway of 25 miles an hour.
Would you like to speak to your motion?
The reasons for the reduction have been discussed fairly thoroughly, and it sounded to me like the consensus was leaning towards 25 rather than 30, but other members of council are certainly free to propose an amendment to 30 and see if it passes.
Councilmember Holsey.
For several years now, I felt that 25 should be the speed limit on that highway. I don't even drive on that highway. I avoided it at all costs. And, I think that 25 is appropriate considering the northbound section between Third and Elliston. I've climbed these mountains that aren't that severe.
Any other comments from council? Councilman Steiger.
The only thing we're not forgetting is this 25-mile-an-hour speed limit does not address that from city limits north to Ellington. That section in there where it's the worst is part of it's King County, part of it's Algona, and Algona does not have that area posted at 25. So,
Where's part of that?
Algona has 25 posted further north of there. Does it post a higher speed south of there? I don't remember seeing them post any higher speed. They just haven't added another 25 in there, but I believe their speed limit is consistent all the way through at 25.
I think when we posted it, it seemed consistent.
It's 25 all the way up to the road.
Any other questions from council? Councilmember Cutler.
I just note that on that one section north there, it's already got a 25 mile an hour speed bump installed.
I'm sure that's 10 mile an hour.
Comment from the audience. Paula?
Transition from Pacific to Sumner. I gather their speed limit is somewhere, the road's a lot better, but their speed limit's somewhere around 40. Any thought to picking up speed, or? I guess there were thoughts of putting a light down there, right? You know, like additional
Plans for
signage. Okay.
Yeah, I would think this is a temporary measure until we have design and completed survey and all that, so I think certainly as conditions improve or we find out that section's better, then we could readdress this, but
Mhm.